Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show, Tuesday early afternoon, okay? Research edition. The title, Julian Brown is not missing, and his mother says he is safe. This is not a trending story, but I felt it was worth our while to really discuss this brilliant young man. Brilliant, 21 years of age, out of Georgia, Douglasville to be precise. Okay, and let me just say, with all due respect, he is not autistic. He's just brilliant. And when I first became aware of him a couple of weeks ago and started watching some of his videos, doing the research, he reminded me of John Nash. If anybody ever saw the film A Beautiful Mind in 2001 with Russell Crowe. John Nash was a mathematician. You can do the research on your own. But this young man, wow, he created something in terms of turning plastic waste into fuel. And he has coined a term, plastoline. And the videos that I had been watching, again, for a couple of weeks now, his mother, her name is Nia, she has stepped up and said he's not missing. He just needed to take a break because the trolls, you guys, were getting at him with all sorts of conspiracy theories, as you do. And he may have gotten a little off balance. He's been on YouTube for 3 years now, over 800 videos. So he's of the generation where they're always, doing something for the camera. But again, on YouTube, he has been doing spot welding, creating all sorts of reactors. And I think a lot of this stuff just came to him by way of just being hungry for the information, the knowledge. He's very active. I saw him working out on a boxing, a gym bag, doing some boxing. And back in high school, he got injured, so he had some time off, and he was thinking about, different things by way of plastic and the ocean and other things. So he came up with an idea, and he has nurtured it over the years. So I want to give him all the credit. Again, Julian Brown, you can do the research on your own. I did not see any father figure in any of his videos. Good afternoon to you folks in the live chat. Does he have a father? If not, let me just say his mother is doing a wonderful job, a beautiful woman, and you can see the harmony in their relationship. When she talks to him, she listens intensely because she knows how intelligent he is. He's been creating other things, some type of ointment, cream, if you will, to repel mosquitoes and insects. And he and her went into the woods, and she put it on, and she was talking about not feeling any mosquitoes and other things. So again, the relationship between his mother and himself, I found it to be beautiful. It kind of reminded me of Kanye West and his mother. For those who remember when Kanye first was trying to get on. What was Kanye's mother's name? Was it Donna or Donda? And you could see when they were sitting at a table, I saw an old video, and she was talking to Kanye, and she was really, she appreciated his talent at an early age. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, she was reciting his lyrics back to him. Yes, no? She was repeating his lyrics back to him. So clearly, she took an interest in him. And this woman, Nia, her name is Nia, has taken an interest in her son, Julian Brown. So that's my afternoon show. I'm going to approach some of the videos that he has done over the years and some of the platforms. Hang on a second. I got a bunch of notes here that have been talking about him. International Business Times and other platforms. So he has made an impact. I hope he winds up on the Joe Rogan podcast. I really do. I hope he does. And you guys, for those of you younger people who are familiar with him, please call in. Let's do it what's called a feel-good show. We can talk about the conspiracies later. Oh, they're trying to get rid of him. Let me say early, again, according to my research, he is in seek of people sending him their plastic waste so he can continue this technology that he created. He did link up with the man whose name escapes me right now, the guy who created the machine that creates water out of air. They linked up. They had a good meeting. And to my knowledge, Julian Brown does not have a girlfriend. He seems like one of these young people, again, 21 years of age, who is just consumed with his work. And I truly believe that he just got exhausted, tired, and that's why he took the break for a couple of weeks now from social media. Thus, the reason why people are saying, oh, he was missing, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's my main story. I'm going to play some videos here, but let me just also say, showrunner. New York City shooter kills 4, including NYPD officer. Condolences to the families of everyone who was killed and wounded. In my community section, I put up the picture last night of the shooter. And I asked the question, was he FBA, Foundational Black American? He reminded me of a Seminole Indian. Yes, no? And a couple of people seem to be, I don't know whether you're not understanding what Foundational Black American is, but let me just say it's a mixture. It's not a pure black race. Anyway, I applaud you if you are serious about your pursuit of being Foundational Black American, but keep in mind, 20 years ago, people were talking about being Pan-Africanist. 10 years ago, you were claiming to be Moors, swashbuckling Spaniards. 5 years ago, before you were talking about FBA, you were claiming to be ADOS. So, I appreciate you young people, making these claims, but I want you to do some research. I'm going to play a video a little bit later on. Florida boy Jay may or may not tap in with regards to the Seminole Indians and the Black Seminoles in Florida, okay? But just give me some time, all right? Okay, that's our show. A little bit later on, we will discuss a few other topics, but I've got a bunch of news stories that I want to play here and talk to you guys this early afternoon, okay? All right, let's get right down to business with regards to this brilliant young man.
Inventor from Metro Atlanta says that he has a way to turn waste into fuel. He just needs help getting his invention off the ground.
This is pretty cool. 21-year-old Julian Brown has gone viral on Instagram for his invention that turns old plastics into fuels like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. He calls it plastiline. He started this journey when he was a teen.
Yeah, Brown is looking to raise $1 million on GoFundMe for a warehouse and to build an industrial-sized prototype. He's got a long way to go. So far, he's raised about $7,000, but it sounds like he really is on his something.
Way. Yeah, he's on his way for sure. Cool. What a great creation there.
No doubt.
For me, it started when I was in high school. I started gardening. And when I was gardening, of course, being in nature, I started to understand how the natural world works. And so if you look at, for example, the woods, right? The trees, the leaves fall into the ground, and those leaves are not waste, right? Those leaves end up becoming fertilizer for the same trees that shed them. And so I realized that us as humans, we are the only thing that produces waste. We have landfills, we have litter, everything else in nature, everything feeds itself. And so in gardening, you can compost all of your food waste. But when you do that, you have plastic left over. And so I see all this plastic, and I was thinking, what can be done with it? And then at the same time, for the first time in my environmental science class, I saw clips of how there's plastic in the ocean. And they showed us a clip of a turtle that had a straw in its nose, and it was bleeding. They had to pull it out. And all I could ask was, what is the solution? Because all we're seeing is the problem. And so I wanted to start to do research to figure out, why do we have waste as humans? What is plastic? What is it made of? And I found out that plastic is made of petroleum or crude oil, the same thing we make our fuels out of. So then I started to ask, why is it not recycled? Because less than 5% of plastic is recycled. So even when you put plastic in your recycle bin, the chances of it being recycled are so low, it usually just ends up in a different country, where it ends up in a river, where it's burned, ends up in the ocean. And to me, I think, it made me, upset. I was angry because I was paying for recycling and they were lying to my face saying we're recycling it. You can look up stories of people saying the recycling trucks go to the same area that the landfill trucks go to throw it in the same spot. And so I started to do research into what plastic was. I found it's made of fuel. So I was like, okay, well, how can we turn it back into fuel? So I found the process of pyrolysis. And at this point, I was around the 11th grade, so I was around 16 years old, and I was inside of a welding program in high school. And so being a part of that program in welding, you learn how to build with metal, how to put together metal. So when I found that there's a way to turn plastic into fuel, you have to build what's called a reactor, a pyrolysis reactor out of metal. And I was a welder, I knew how to build with metal. So I put together my first pyrolysis reactor in the 12th grade. I was 17 years old. It was around the size of a crock pot. Like, you could fit it on this table here. And I wanted to see if this is real. And it was real, turning the plastic into fuel. The machine worked. And so I started to continue to build more and more machines, and I started to innovate by utilizing microwaves with the machine, because my theory was, if we can use microwaves to turn plastic into fuel, microwaves you see operate off of electricity. And electricity can come from nuclear, solar, wind, etc. We can take renewable energy to get rid of waste and then at the same time create fuels.
Inventor Julian Brown vanished from social media after telling his followers that he was being targeted over a product he developed that he claims can turn plastic into fuel. But we at Daily Mail spoke to Brown's mother, Nia, who told us he is safe but keeping a low profile for his safety. When pressed for more information, Nia Brown said that she could not provide more details in order to keep her son safe. Now, Brown's whereabouts remain unknown, which has sparked all types of conspiracy theories online. On his last post, Brown claimed that he was being attacked over the technology and asked his followers to pray for him and to screen record the video message. Days before that last message, Brown posted that he was being circled by a secret helicopter in the middle of nowhere. He also asked his followers to pray for him then.
Hey there, good afternoon. Area code 917. Please watch the language. We're talking about Julian Brown. He's not missing. Are you up to speed?
Yes, sir. How you doing? This is the commissioner.
Hey, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Yeah. I saw that gentleman, Mr. Brown. He usually pops up on my algorithm for like the last couple of years, and
okay.
What he's done is pretty groundbreaking. But the thing about it, everything boils down to safety. When you're dealing with things like plastics, and I think he also made mention of it too, it's the development of, producing a carbon footprint that's not too hazardous to the world.
Right.
Right. Some of these waste compounds, they tend to burn down or smelt some of the plastics, and that goes into the atmosphere, and it's already causing problems. And not to say that what he's doing isn't revolutionary, and I definitely think it is. But for me, and I think I kind of would need some more, scientific support to fully get behind, a thought process like that. And as far as him just kind of like laying low in this like online climate, you got to take a break, man.
Yeah.
There's people online. They're like literal demons, like day and night, to try to deter you from, pursuing your dream just because they're sitting beside or behind a computer screen and just talking smack. So,
Stay with me, because I've only been aware of him for the past couple of weeks, a little over a month. I would imagine that someone of his intellect, extremely smart, works himself and wears himself down. I didn't see a girlfriend. You said he comes up in your timeline a lot. There is a white girl who reached out to him, and she seems to be very interested in what he's doing. Are they dating? I'm gonna pull her name up in a second here. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know her personally, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but I definitely think the CIA and the FBI come in many different forms.
God.
And I'm just saying it's just
Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Now, hold on. I have to ask, with all due respect, are you an agent? You're called in. You need more research done. You're not fully in support of him, but now you're saying someone may have infiltrated him. And what? Where are you going? Come on.
I mean, but no, wait. Slow down.
I'm listening.
Remember, even prior to his disappearance, he had a couple of ominous videos stating that there were black helicopters flying over his home, and he was getting strange calls from different callers. So if he's on any form of radar, I mean, maybe he's. Hey, he said it. Mind you, he said it. So if he's on any form of radar, you know, sometimes you need a little bit of honey to catch a bee. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they send a couple.
Well, now hang on a second. So hold. I need you to stop giggling. Number one, okay. Let's take our time. I'm scrolling down his YouTube channel. Okay, I forget her name. I don't want to say the wrong name, but she appears to be very, very supportive. Who knows? So she may be a spy. She may be a spy, and maybe those. Did you say helicopters or drones that were?
Well, he said helicopters. I could be mistaken, but I think he said that there were helicopters flying around his home at night. So I think it might have been drones, but you know, I could.
I would believe that. I listen. Everybody is concerned about what's going on. Okay, the white girl name that we're talking about is Rachel, right?
Yeah, textbook.
Rachel. What is her? Okay, Rachel D. Okay, I'm just gonna play the video so I don't say the wrong thing. But she has reached out to him, and they seem to be forming a relationship going back a year ago. But let me just ask you, because you said he comes up in your timeline. He puts on a suit and tie when it's time to talk business. I like that about him, right?
Yeah.
So he's grimy.
But the thing is, when it comes to the scientific community, especially when dealing with a dominant society, you don't even have the same verbiage that they use, and already that's a strike against you, even if you do know what you're talking about and you do have the evidence to support certain claims. So for him to put on those, you know, suits and ties, it's necessary because it adds a level of validity to what he's doing. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you were to pitch and advertise a majority.
So you're just a hater. So admit that you're a hater.
No,
you're a hater.
Far from it. No, far from it. I'm saying that the reason why he's doing those things is to pretty much like validate himself to, you know, the community, which, you know, is necessary, especially for, you know, African Americans and blacks altogether.
Well, it's the right thing to do. And I mean, I don't want to, you know, compare him to Albert Einstein, but Einstein looked like a quack most of the times. But when it came time to talk in front of the press and other things, he put on his suit. So I'm going to play more videos. I thank you for calling in. Anything else you want to say with regards to him? He was taking a break.
No.
He was taking a break. He was not kidnapped. What do you want to land your plane?
Yeah. You know, I think all press is good press, and hopefully this helps give him the funding that he needs to kind of take things off the ground. And like the last caller said before, you know, a good, you know, support group, either whether it be from your parents or your friends, is definitely necessary, especially if you have the capacity and the means to kind of think above everyone else.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Hey, take it easy, man. Okay. Bye.
I'm on Julian Brown's YouTube channel. Guys, I'm coming back to the phone shortly, but I want to play a video from a year ago. Is this young white female, is she a spy? She linked up with him, boy. Now, in this video, she's got her hair curled and she's got on a little makeup, but after they linked up, she's got more of a relaxed look. Did she put that loving on him? I don't know, but let's see what she's saying and how they came to form a relationship. This is Rachel. I think this is from February the 3rd, 2024. This video here.
So apparently you can turn plastic waste into diesel that actually works in a car. All right, Julian, you said you needed a diesel vehicle to try out your pasta diesel in, and we did it. We finally secured one. So we got a Ford F350, 1995. All right, stay tuned for Saturday.
Paid over half a gallon of plastic diesel. Diesel I made from plastic waste. I don't know if you sense what I sense, but the time to put this in a vehicle is getting closer and closer. And I'm very excited.
So basically, I found Julian on YouTube like a month ago, became an immediate fan. This is some sci-fi shit to me. And the other day, I saw that he needs a diesel vehicle. He's doing something about the problems that he sees. I fucking admire it, and I am so inspired by it, and I think he's really onto something.
Okay. Nature Jab. That's the name of his YouTube channel. Nature Jab. 366,000 subscribers, 805 videos. I don't want to make this just about her, but let's go to one more video. Or actually, let me play the interview with Julian and Rachel. Guys, who's texting me? Hold on a second. Hold on. Or actually, I have to find the interview. Pardon me. They were sitting down talking. Let me check my phone here. Wait a minute. I think Deeds is. Hey, Deeds. Okay. Deeds says her name is Rachel Cook. C-O-O-K. Okay. Florida Boy Jay's tapping in shortly. Let me give you guys some context. I'm on his YouTube channel. I want to find the interview with them, and I want you to hear how he explains. Here it is. This is the interview from a year ago. The quality is not the best, but you can hear them talking. And this is Rachel when she, has a more of a relaxed look. Females do that. Once they get to know you, then the makeup and all that stuff comes off. Here we go. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Feel it vibrate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let me make sure. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, no, yours is not recording now. Oh, okay, so I'll turn it on.
Is that too low, the volume?
Okay, give a clap.
Yeah.
That's as loud as it goes.
Is that loud enough? Closer? Does that work for you? Inventor of doing pyrolysis in this way with microwaves.
Indeed.
This is crazy. Like, how did you come about this process?
Well, it all started when I was in my junior year of high school.
Okay.
I had an injury, so I wasn't able to do much physical.
Okay, they're saying it's too low in the live chat. Okay, well, listen, you can go to his YouTube channel and you can watch his videos. I'm going to play some other ones, but just give me a second. Let me go to the phone lines here. Guys, we're doing research. Please watch the language. Are you at the speed on the topic? Julian Brown is not missing. Area code 646. Are you there?
Peace, starters. Yeah, I'm here. This is Mitch Mo from Crown Heights. What's going on,
Hey,
sir?
how are you, sir? Peace.
I'm doing all right, sir. I just wanted to tap in real quick because I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Julian Brown a few months back.
Okay.
He was actually at somewhat of a conference in library in Buckhead,
Okay.
just outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
And I've been following him for quite some time. I was very fascinated by the research that he did. And at this conference, I was able to ask him a couple of questions about his research and the conversion rate from plastic to fuel, so on and so forth. But I just want to say this really quickly because it was very concerning to me. When I met him, I waited till after everything was said and done, and I went over to meet him. And as I approached him, I saw a few of his belongings somewhere in the cut, and I noticed that he had a bulletproof vest there. Okay. So I want to just say that, this young man, I believe he's 21 years old, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of young people that are, this ambitious and asserting themselves in this type of way. And this is like quite a big task for him for the age that he is, to try to prove himself to the world. And I'm familiar with the patenting process because I've worked on a patent myself, and I spoke to him about that. But I wanted to say that, we need to bring awareness to this because, we need to protect our young black men, especially the ones who are doing the right thing and applying themselves in this type of way, especially in this day and age, because not a lot of youth are doing this type of work. Okay. And I'm very, very glad to hear that he's not missing and that he's out of harm's way if he was in harm's way. But I just wanted to call in to say that because I want a lot of people to understand that he's not in just some paranoid state. Right. Okay. There are people who are out to bring him harm and to bring him down, as well as the other inventors that are out there. I forgot the gentleman that was out from Africa who had the self-powering part. It regenerates itself. I forgot the gentleman's name. Excuse me for that. Okay, but he actually wanted to connect with him as well. Okay, but
are you talking about the guy? And I don't have his name with me. He created the machine that it makes water out of air. You talking about him?
No, not him.
Okay,
not him.
Because they did connect. Okay, you were saying, go ahead.
Yes, that was another one. That's another one as well. And we always hear about these stories about them being missing or in harm's way or whatever the case may be. But we just need to I'm glad you're doing this show, Star, because we need to bring more awareness to this. And this is someone, Julian Brown, who's right in our backyard. Okay, this is someone straight out of Georgia, just on the outskirts of Atlanta. Okay, who's doing this research. I believe he does most of his research somewhere in the isolated area in Alabama. But even those commutes that he takes back and forth from Georgia to Alabama, he's ran into situations where he felt someone maliciously may have done something to his car and things of that nature. So he has a lot going on, and it's not a lot of people out there to really protect him and going about this research and these innovations that he's bringing to the world.
If I can jump in for a second.
Sure.
To be precise, he's from Douglasville. Yes, that's what
that's correct.
My research has shown. I know Douglasville.
That is correct.
I know Douglasville very well. Does he have a father? I mean, he's got a beautiful mother and very supportive of him. I heard them, or I watched them talking and interacting. Does he have a father around?
To be very honest with you, Star, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
I haven't heard much about his father being in his life, to be very honest.
Okay. If I had to guess, in all honesty, I think he has to worry about black people more than white people. I hear the conspiracies, the government, they're going to kill him. He's coming out of Douglasville, which is a working class area for the most part. And yes, yes, he has to set up shop in Alabama, as you said. Black people love to troll. Let's not get it twisted. When you start getting something or making a name for yourself in the Atlanta metro area, who do you have to worry about coming into your home with a stick at 2:00 in the morning? A white person?
Absolutely.
A white person or a black person?
Black people. Absolutely black. I totally agree. I mean, it's happened to me, so I'm speaking from experience. Okay, so this is not such far-fetched. You know what I mean? Like I know how it goes. Yeah. Okay, so yes,
he's got the bulletproof vest. Hang on a second. He's got the bulletproof vest for the niggas over in Hiram, Duluth, College Park, or East Point, who are watching him, thinking he's about to get a big bag from some investor. In my opinion, go ahead.
I believe so. I believe because the streets is always watching. That's just a fact.
Right.
Okay, that's just a fact. So at the end of the day, what I say is that he should be aware of all people, not just his own, because I guess it very much so. He does have to look out for his own as well. Okay. But there are people who would like to steal his innovation from under him if it's possible for them to do so. Okay. And I just want to add in, and this may not have anything to do with anything, but he has partnered up with some Caucasian out there that I've seen him recently posting things and so on and so forth. I'm not sure.
Praise God.
Okay.
Praise God.
now, he may very well be his angel. Who knows? Okay, but I just want to say that he needs to be very much on point, and I hope that he has the support that he needs and the security that he needs around him to see his innovation through.
Well, stay with me because you met him, and you yourself, are you an inventor, an engineer? What is your background? Why did you go to hear him speak?
Well, I went to speak with him because I have a patent in the works in the logistics industry.
Okay.
So I wanted to actually use his plastiline to fuel it.
Okay.
So that's what we spoke about briefly. I told him that, once I had things in order, I would set up a meeting with him at a later time. But, like right now, just to see him go through all of the things that he's going through and not to have that masculine support and security around him, because you mentioned his father not being around. I'm hoping that.
Hang on a second. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know for certain. I mean, I combed through at least 150 of his videos. I did not see a father. That doesn't mean his father is not on the set. Everybody's
no.
Everybody's father's not trying to be in the mix. Everybody's not trying to be out there, shining for the camera. But either way, I like his position. I think he's highly intelligent. Did he go to college, or is he just gathering this information by himself? He was doing spot welding.
Yes, he was. His history was in welding, and that's why he was able to easily transition to welding these materials to convert it from plastic to some type of fuel. Plastiline is what he calls it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he's very intelligent. I only know of him having a high school level education, to my understanding. I don't know of him going to college, any type of higher learning outside of high school.
Okay.
To my knowledge.
All right. I appreciate the call, man. And let's hope, I say this with all due respect, when you get to where you want to get to, some white people step in and help you.
I would hope so, in good faith. I would hope so.
Salute. All
right. Salute, Star.
Yes,
Peace.
Thank you. Guys, if you're just now joining me, I'm doing a feel-good show, a research show here today about this young man, Julian Brown. He is not missing. I got to find some of the videos, bear with me, with regards to his creation. But you can Google plastiline. That's his technology that converts plastic waste into usable fuels, such as gasoline, diesel, and some other things that can power vehicles. All right. We've spoken before about the water engine film. You guys remember that? The water engine film. What year was that? 1992. William H. Macy. That was a good film, and did they kill him for creating the engine that ran on the water? I forget. Let me just Google here. Or I know they tried to kill him. The water engine film. Classic. Okay. Big Elvis, I see you, sir. Are you tapping in? Are you calling in? Okay. Elvis, what video are you sending me? I can't really watch. Yeah, I've seen that, Big Elvis, but he's not missing. I don't want to play something now about him missing. His mother said he's fine. Damien, I got your donation. Thank you via Cash App. Okay, so I have to go look at your personalized note. Give me a second. Hey, Tiffany, I got your donation. Thank you, Timestamp Tiffany. She put up the timestamps for the Hulk Hogan show that we did. And hey, Lydia, thank you for tapping in. Okay. The commissioner says, I am not an agent. We spoke to him a little while ago. Thank you for your donation. Okay. Let me go back now here. Hold on a second. And I want to play a video here with regards to the shooter in New York. Now, you guys sure he's not FBA? He looks like a Seminole to me, a black Seminole. Do you guys know what a black Seminole is? Can somebody claiming to be FBA call in, educate people on what a black Seminole or Afro Seminole is and or was? We're going to come right back. Hold on a second but I want to give you a little context here on the shooter. Oh, the shooter came through. We used to say that on the Star and Buck Wild show all the time. The shooter is coming through. This video came out 12 hours ago. Here we go.
In total, we have 5 victims shot, our officer and 4 other innocent civilians, plus the shooter. The shooter is believed to be Shane Tamora, a 27-year-old male with a Las Vegas address.
A 27-year-old gunman from Las Vegas opened fire inside a Midtown Manhattan office building Monday afternoon, killing 5 people, including an NYPD officer, before fatally shooting himself. At a press briefing, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch identified the shooter as Shane Tamora, noting he had a documented history of mental illness. Authorities revealed that Tamora had driven across state lines prior to the attack. His vehicle was last spotted around 4:24 p.m. in Columbia, New Jersey, shortly before he launched the deadly rampage.
The information that I'm about to provide is preliminary and subject to change. At 6:28 p.m., the 911 call center started receiving multiple 911 calls for an active shooter inside of 345 Park Avenue at 52nd Street in Manhattan. What happened next is under an active investigation and details are still coming in, but here's what we know so far. Surveillance video shows a male exit a double-parked black BMW on Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets, carrying an M4 rifle in his right hand. He walks towards the building's entrance. That individual was seen exiting the BMW alone. The building's security camera footage shows the shooter enter the lobby, turn right, and immediately open fire on an NYPD officer. He then shoots a woman who took cover behind a pillar and proceeds through the lobby, spraying it with gunfire. He makes his way to the elevator bank, where he shoots a security guard who was taking cover behind the security desk. One additional male is shot in the lobby, per his own statement from the hospital. The shooter then calls the elevator, which opens in the lobby. A female exits that elevator, and he allows her to walk past him unharmed. He goes up to the 33rd floor, which is route and management, and begins to walk the floor, firing rounds as he traveled. One person was struck and killed on that floor. He then proceeds down a hallway and shoots himself in the chest.
Inside Tamora's vehicle, officers discovered a rifle case with ammunition, a loaded revolver, multiple magazines, a backpack, and prescription medication in his name, Commissioner Tisch said. The NYPD bomb squad searched the vehicle and found no explosives. Police believe Tamora acted alone and confirmed there is no ongoing threat to the public.
In total, we have 5 victims shot, our officer and 4 other innocent civilians, plus the shooter. The shooter is believed to be Shane Tamora, a 27-year-old male with a Las Vegas address. The vehicle he exited is registered in Nevada to Mr. Tamora. Inside of that vehicle, officers found a rifle case with rounds, a loaded revolver, ammunition, and magazines, a backpack, and medication prescribed to Mr. Tamora. The vehicle was searched by our bomb squad and found to be clear of any explosives. The initial investigation shows that Mr. Tamora's vehicle traveled cross-country through Colorado on July 26th, then Nebraska and Iowa on July 27th, and then in Columbia, New Jersey as recently as 4:24 p.m.
Okay. If he is foundational Black American, why do you not want the credit? Well, that's a guy named Shane. Phone lines open right now. The Rogel Index, I got you donation, 33rd floor. Pay attention. Okay. Flamethrower, I see you. Oh, Flamethrower says, is that Skylar Saunders? There's more to this particular story here. The New York City shooter killed 4 people, including an NYPD officer. Election time is coming up. I don't know if they even got a motive for this guy, why he took this drive from Las Vegas to New York. I mean, other than just something to do with the NFL. He never played professional football, right or wrong. Never played football. Oh, they're going in on FBA. Going in. Valerie, I got your donation. Do you want to call in? I got time. Penelope, how are you? I got your donation. Okay. And Shazam, peace. Shazam, how are you, sir? Okay. All right. And let me just clear some of these donations out so we can get back to the videos here. I think it's very, very important to give you some context with regards to Julian Brown. Again, he is not missing. If anybody has any knowledge with regards to Julian Brown, whether he is or isn't enrolled in college, not that he has to be, but I'm trying to get some context as to his understanding of the field that he is in right now, where this came about, or whether he just applied himself. He could have read some books, watched some videos, and applied the knowledge. Okay, 1051 fam, I got your donation. He says, salute star, the white girl is definitely okay. Why can't she just be helping him? Why can't she just be someone who is trying to help him? And, you know, I mean, he's in Georgia, so would there be a different group and or class? Let me go back for a second. Guys, hold on. I'm trying to play another video here with regards to his mother. The one with his mother, I thought that was very, very nice. And I got to find it. Hold on. I hate to ask Deeds, but does anybody have a video or know the video with he and his mother? Let me just go to his page and scroll down. Let me scroll down. Give me a second. This is a research show. Let me take the time. Okay. He also had to go to the hospital. He blew himself up at one point. Where's the video with his mom? Oh, his mom was fine, too. Hey, Mom, are you out there? I think her name is Nia. A lot of videos. Wow. As I said, his mom, very, very supportive of what he does. I hope he's moving out of Georgia. Okay, I don't see it. I may have to go on to his YouTube channel. Crap. I can't find it right now. All right, I tell you what, in the meantime, I'm going to play a video with regards to another showrunner. Give you some context here. Hold on a second, guys. I have to block somebody who keeps calling my phone, who doesn't understand that I'm busy. Send a goddamn text. Let me play this. Let me see if I can get Floater Boy J online here. Now, this came out 5 years ago. 5 years ago. With regards to Florida history, the Black Seminoles. Because, again, that guy looked like a Seminole to me. Let me put it on the screen, too. Pardon me. Since we're going to talk about Florida history, the Black Seminoles. Can you see that? And this is for those who don't know the history of the Black Seminoles and the mixture with regards to FBA. Pay attention. Here we go.
The Underground Railroad was a pathway used by runaway slaves to escape the shackles of slavery and pursue a life of freedom. Traditionally, the road headed north towards freedom, but a small portion of runaways instead turned south towards Florida. In 1693, the Spanish had abolished slavery in Florida, establishing a safe haven for runaway slaves. But life for the runaway slaves in Florida was not utopic either. The Seminoles were Native Americans that took their name from the Creek word meaning runaway or separatists. It would seem that the escaped slaves were not the only runaways in Florida. Prior to the Seminole Indian Wars, the Seminoles were spread across the entire state of Florida and even spoke variations of Muskegon. It wasn't until the war started that the desperate groups began to align themselves. The runaway slaves formed their own tribes adjacent to and sometimes with the Seminoles. Though some tribes treated escaped slaves as slaves, they were not as brutal and merciless as the white slave owners. The Seminoles generously allowed the ex-slaves to live freely as long as they shared their crop at the end of the season. They were called Black Seminoles, Black Indians, and Seminole freedmen. The Black Seminoles adopted Seminole traditions and lifestyles. They eventually married into the tribes, and their children were accepted by the tribes. With the help of the Seminoles, the former slaves learned how to live life as free men and were quite prosperous. But this did not sit well with the slave owners. They conspired with the government and convinced them it was time to rid the state of the natives that lived there in hopes of getting their slaves back. This caused 3 separate wars waged between 2 nations, referred to as the Seminole Indian Wars, that were exclusively fought in Florida. During these wars, the Black Seminoles were considered to be the fiercest and most courageous fighters the U.S. government had ever fought. Whole divisions of Black Seminoles fought off the invading soldiers who were being led by General Andrew Jackson. Following the First Seminole War and the seceding of Florida to the United States by Spain, the Seminoles were banished from northern Florida. The U.S. began building forts and other settlements in North Florida. The Second Seminole War began in the 1830s as a response to President Jackson's Indian Removal Act. The United States government aimed to banish the Seminoles from Florida entirely. The Seminoles made use of guerrilla warfare tactics, but General Thomas Jessup changed the course of the war through the treacherous capture of Seminole leaders while using signs of truce. By the end of the Second Seminole War, most of the Seminole population had died in battle or undergone relocation. What Seminoles were left were further brutalized in the Third Seminole War, which left merely 500 Seminoles in the state of Florida. Most of the Seminoles had been relocated to Oklahoma. Following relocation to Oklahoma, Seminoles were forced to live under Creek law. While the Seminoles were treated somewhat respectfully, the Black Seminoles were treated with disdain. Black Seminoles were often excluded from representation and reparations. The Seminole Nation restricted membership to those with ancestors on the Dow's rolls, a registration that excluded over 1,000 freedmen. Some Black Seminoles fled to Mexico, where they formed a new tribe and were given the name Muskogos. In recent memory, the government finally acknowledged the claims of Black Seminoles and started awarding the much overdue benefits to those who descended from the tribes. While the Black Seminoles may not be as well known as their counterparts, their role in the history of Florida can still be felt to this day.
Okay, phone lines are open right now. Right now. I don't necessarily have to give you pushback, but call in and talk. So many people make an allegiance, or you make claims to, Black Seminoles and other things, educate people who don't know. That's what this is, a research show. Nobody's trying to trip you up. I got another video to play that is really, really good in terms of its research. But that one, I want to start out with that one. Okay. And Deeds sent me an email. Hold on a second. Thank you, Deeds. I think this is the video that I was looking for. Yes. Okay. We got a bunch of stuff to do here this afternoon. Here is Julian Brown and his mother. This came out July the 1st, this particular video on his Nature Jab IG page, Nature Jab. And again, she reminded me of Kanye's mother, how they used to have that chemistry. That's the word, chemistry together. All right. Let's take our time. Put some respect on this young man's name and his mother as well.
Sacrificing my beautiful mother to the Illuminati, aka the mosquitoes, the mosquito-nati. But I'm giving her this Zap Aroma, my all-natural mosquito repellent. So you are subject to a test.
All right, let's
Test
see
your
how
life.
this works. Only because I trust you.
What do you think about it?
The packaging is lovely. Let's see the smell. It smells wonderful.
Yeah? Doesn't
Yeah.
smell like a bug repellent, like chemically?
No.
Well, okay.
Let's see how it feels.
Yeah.
It
smells like
rubs
a body
it
butter.
nicely. It does. It's just like a body butter, like your other products. And it feels good.
Excellent. And so what has your experience been in your life with mosquitoes?
I am a mosquito magnet. I even contracted chikungunya years ago
Oh, my
from a
goodness.
mosquito bite. So yeah, I'm
Nonsense.
definitely mosquito bite prone. So
Yeah.
this, I appreciate my son. You made for me.
Yes, yes. So you guys see I'm sacrificing her because she could get diseases from this. So we're going to see if it really works. All right. So you guys just want to make sure you apply this to
Hey,
every
Mom.
surface
Hey,
of your
girl.
body because the mosquitoes will go where it's not applied. So there you go. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. So my mom is going into the worst spot in this entire backyard where the mosquitoes are.
I hate to ask, but is this young man foundational Black American? What is his background? Or does it even matter? You know? Here we go.
So far, they're staying away completely.
You don't even see
I don't
any.
even see any.
And they are back here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look.
Yep. There's
So
one.
they're coming for me.
Okay.
They're not going to. Why are they ignoring her? Look at all this fresh meat right here. Why are they coming to me? Ow! Why are they coming over here to me? Get my mom.
This is amazing. This never happens. I am truly a magnet. Anytime I come outside, they swarm me.
Oh, look. I see them behind you. I see them behind you trying to get you. Wow. They're trying. They're
I see
trying.
one.
Yeah, they're not landing on you. Though, look.
Not landing.
Mosquitoes, you guys have all of this surface area. Why are you flying above her? They're like trying to find the best angle of attack. But they're
not
another
getting
one.
me.
I gotta get it.
That's pretty amazing.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, I can see
I
them all.
see a
now.
big one there.
Yep. They're around here. They're just like, dang it, we can't get. Oh, there's one down here by your leg that's trying. Let's see. Nope, it is not landing. My mom is not being sacrificed to the Illuminati today. Thanks to the Jabaroma shield. Zaparoma. Get you some Zaparoma, jabaroma.com.
I'm proud of you, son.
And thank you, Mom. I love you.
I love you too.
Are you worried at all?
Just a little bit because I don't like mosquito bites.
Yeah.
But I'm confident in you.
Okay.
You are an amazing innovator.
Thank you. Well, there you go. And now
Isn't that nice? She says, I'm confident in you. You are an amazing innovator. I got to play this again.
you can keep that, so you'll have your own mosquito repellent. All right, everybody, today I'm sacrificing my beautiful mother to the Illuminati, aka the mosquitoes, the mosquito-nati. But I'm giving her this Zap Aroma, my all-natural mosquito repellent. So you are subject to a test.
All right, let's
Test
see
your
how
life.
this works. Only
So-
because I trust you.
What do you think about it?
The packaging is lovely. Let's see the smell. It smells wonderful.
Yeah? Doesn't
Yeah.
smell like a bug repellent, like
It
chemically?
doesn't. No.
Well, okay.
Let's see how it feels.
Yeah.
It
So it's like
rubs
a
it
body
nicely.
butter.
It does. It's just like a body butter, like your other products. And it feels good.
Excellent. And so what has your experience been in your life with mosquitoes?
I am a mosquito magnet. I even contracted chikungunya years ago
Oh, my
from a
goodness.
mosquito bite. So yeah, I'm
Nonsense.
definitely mosquito bite prone. So
Yeah.
this, I appreciate my son. You
Well,
made for me.
Yes, yes. So you guys see I'm sacrificing her because she could get diseases from this. So we're going to see if it really works. All right, so you guys just want to make sure you apply this to every surface of your body because the mosquitoes will go where it's not applied. So there you go. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, so my mom is going into the worst spot in this entire backyard where the mosquitoes are.
So far, they're staying away completely.
You don't even see
I don't
any.
even see any.
And they are back here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look.
Yep. There's
so
one.
they're coming for me.
Okay.
They're not going to. Why are they ignoring her? Look at all this fresh meat right here. Why are they coming to me? Ow! Why are they coming over here to me? Get my mom.
This is amazing. This never happens. I am truly a magnet. Anytime I come outside, they swarm me.
Oh, look, I see them behind you. I see them behind you trying to get you. Wow. They're trying. They're
I
trying.
see one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you got the point. Okay, that's his mom. And man, you're right. Who's out on the screen there? Someone said, this is heartwarming to see this type of support from a parent. Guys, is she foundational Black American? Come on, somebody has to know the history of this young man. He's been popping on TikTok. He's more so on TikTok, 21 years of age. Uh-oh, is that Florida boy Jay tapping in on a Tuesday afternoon? FBJ.
Hey, man, FBJ, FBA, we here today. What's going on, Star? Where are we going with this topic? I've been seeing a lot of narrative painting, and I just had to call in and see what we doing today.
I want to start with Julian Brown. Are you up to speed on him? I know I sent you some stuff earlier this morning, and we spoke. A brilliant young innovator, and I want to promote him as much as I can. He's not missing. His mother said he needed some downtime. He's been resting. 21 years of age. Julian Brown, you familiar with him?
Yes, Julian Brown. Like we said before, Julian Brown is not only an innovator, he's a pioneer. Yeah. I feel like he's setting a good example, not only for his generation, but for people who don't really fit the stereotype of what a young Black man is supposed to be in their eyes. He's inventing things. He's not asking for huge donations of money. He's not running around here begging. He's getting to work. A lot of people thought he went missing because he may have made a few statements, not even condemning white people, saying that, hey, these people have helped me with my equipment. Yeah. They've donated money. They donate their time. So another thing I really appreciate about him.
He was thanking the white people. He was thanking them.
Yes. Right. And he's not willing to be used for anybody else's narrative but his own and clean energy and innovation. That's the only thing he is advocating for. All the other government things. Now, it was a couple instances. I remember a few weeks ago, probably like a month ago, he was in like a little wooded field and a helicopter was circling around the field he was in. I have seen peculiar things. But what his mom said and what me and you discussed earlier is when you are somebody who's avidly online doing content, talking, and giving your energy to the masses, you do need to have moments of solitude and time to break and recharge.
Yeah,
that's really what's happening.
His mind probably works so fast because clearly the stuff that he's involved in, he doesn't necessarily take a break. He's got all that young energy, so he has to power down. He probably crashes. So his innovation, turning plastic waste into fuel. Now, there is some concern with regards to the process that he's using, but he's trying to get a bigger reactor, and he has an understanding, if you ask me, of how to make this affordable, if you will. Do you think that, aside from the mainstream, that people on a smaller level will really cling to this, or do they just want to, see it become available first before they even give it any real attention?
I think we need to pour into people like this. We need to see a lot of times, especially in my generation, starting in his generation, a lot of the smart innovators, people like him, have been shooed away from technological advancement into money-making degrees or jobs where we're having a stagnated moment of inventions and I feel like growth as a public in technology because we don't fund people like him. We're not putting money behind Julian Brown. I don't see why, and I'm guilty of this too, why me and about 50,000 other people, Black people, are on YouTube making Umar Johnson videos about him scamming us, but aren't making Julian Brown videos about putting money in his pocket and setting up a fund for him and putting him on the Breakfast Club, putting him on the JBP.
But please stop, please don't put him on the Breakfast Slop. Please don't do that. Let's get him on Joe Rogan or
Joe Rogan
or Candace Owens, not the Breakfast Slop. Please no.
Right. But for a lot of us, like my brother Tariq, and she does a lot of crowd, fundraising. You know what I'm saying? Via the audience, we need to be mobilizing how we've been practicing with Tariq and practice with Julian Brown.
Right.
It's not a black thing or a white thing. It is a human progression thing. That if we see somebody with the lack of resources, but the mental stability and to be able to consume and regurgitate this information and make new information with his findings, the little resources he has, why are we not funding him? Why are we not putting his Cash App or Apple Pay up everywhere else like we're putting ours up? Because listen, I got a show. You can throw money on my show. I'm just going to improve my platform. I would rather you take money from me and put it towards him because he's inventing something. I'm just entertaining y'all.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's picking up a lot of traction. A lot of people are taking interest to what he has created. Any knowledge with regards to whether he's in school? Not that he has to be in college, but he's only 21 and he started these studies and this research and building these reactors. Started in high school. Any knowledge on his academics at this point?
Yeah, no, I don't have any knowledge on the academics, but just by how advanced he is in science, I believe he probably did make good grades. And just like a lot of our innovators with whether it's mechanics, computers, or whatnot, a lot of these people is just like athletes who can go straight from the high school to NBA playing soccer. We have a lot of smart young people who don't necessarily need college in order to do what they have to put on this earth to do.
Right.
And I don't see why Harvard or some of these, or even Georgia Tech, he's in Georgia. Why hasn't Georgia Tech called him in and gave him his own office or gave him a grant? You know what I'm saying? Why hasn't Harvard reached out? Why haven't a lot of these technological institutions haven't been backing him? Because I'm pretty sure if it was somebody else.
Well, hang on a second now. Before you go down that lane, we don't know if anybody has reached out. And truthfully, he might want to have ownership. Hang on. He may want to have ownership. Everybody's not looking to sell something down the river. I mean, with all due respect, my homie Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin sold Def Jam once upon a time, sold it like an old used up slave. Now, this guy seems smart enough and he's got his mother behind him. Maybe he's just looking for funding, but not necessarily looking to sell it, if you will. So, and any thoughts on with regards to the people around him? Did you get time to watch any of the videos? He's got that girl involved with his research. He's got a piece of snow in his life.
As he should. Because and the reason why I'm not harsh on him or what he said is because, like I said before, his purpose is not to help black people solely. His purpose is to help society advance technologically and save us money on gas, fossil fuels, oil, all those things. So if he has Mexican people helping him, thank God for them. If he has white people helping him, if he has a little white girl who can help run around, be his assistant, collect things that can assist his pursuit, then God bless her too.
Yeah.
We can't be sitting around here.
Rachel Cook is her name for those just now joining the show. And let me reiterate, Julian Brown is not missing. This is a research show. Okay, so Florida Boy Jay, let's you and I keep watching him. I don't know if he's FBA or not. Does that pique your interest? Have you had a time to see what his mother's background is? Do you know?
Yeah, no, I haven't did any research, but I'm being honest. I don't care if he's FBA, Caribbean, African. It don't matter. I'm more impressed that he's not running around with the Glock switch and his pants hanging off, talking about ops and all this YN stuff, and eating perk burgers is actually trying to contribute something in history. Trying to be a footnote in history. I don't care.
Okay. Florida Boy Jay, is that you, sir? You back?
Yeah. We back in the building, man.
Okay. We had some technical issues earlier, man. I hope that the stream is not lagging. Deeds, are we okay? I got Florida Boy Jay back on the line. We were talking about the Black Seminoles down in Florida, which is where you're from. Are you yourself mixed with any Seminole or anything, Florida Boy Jay? You're foundational Black American, yes?
Yes, my great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Seminole Indian.
Really?
There's no cap. We have features just like in the color of my eyes, my brothers, and is one particular side of my family from that line that some of us have colored eyes. You know what I'm saying? And that's not we mix with white or whoop. But see, a lot of y'all think that some of my features are white features, and they're not. They're native FBA features. That's how we look. I'm sorry, we don't look like ashy jigaboos, but this is what we are. This is what we look like. I'm sorry to break it to you. A lot of us didn't run up north because we thought it was some great white hope in Detroit or New York or Canada. A lot of the real ones ran the opposite way, deeper south to Florida, and got it cracking, and got cracking. You know what I'm saying? We had peaceful environments out here, and even to this day, we still recognize the Seminole Indians. We still recognize the Creek Indians. We still recognize the Timucua Indians. We still have a rich history down here, and we don't want to hear no tethers of foreigners call the line trying to tell us a history they know nothing about.
Well, now, hang on a second, because I just wanted to get some clarity, with regards to the Black Seminoles.
Right.
I don't know the New York City shooter's true ethnicity. From what I've gathered, is he from Hawaii by way of Vegas? Some type of Pacific Islander? Is that his background? Do you know? The guy named Shane?
Yeah, that's with the limited information. That's pretty accurate. I just don't have the full information to confirm anything. But you talking about Hawaii, Vegas? This don't sound like FBA pit stops. These sound like tether informant, sleeper cells. People like Avo, people like Sunday. These sleeper cell agents of chaos.
You're taking shots, people who are not on the line. Let's not do that, please. Come on.
Cool. We're talking about somebody that I feel like was a sleeper cell MK Ultra victim who people said went missing years ago. We've seen football interviews with him. We got certain posts going down the line on X of people saying we haven't seen this man in 6-8 years. Maybe he was kidnapped, brainwashed, sent out here. And if you look at the photograph, you can't fart too loud in Times Square, New York, without the police harassing you. Yeah. How is he walking around town with this big ass gun where NYPD too busy on their phone swiping on the T app?
Well, now hang on a second. Hang on. Now, to be precise, he brought it out and got busy as soon as he brought it out. Yes, walked in the building and got active. I'm not trying to glorify it, but he got right to it.
Right.
Come on.
Agreed. But we have photographs of him outside, walking the block, walking into the spot.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen it. Nobody alerted anything. Like, I'm just saying, with all the surveillance in the world, with all the anti-gun laws people have in New York, you can't even prevent gun violence. So why is the police budget the way it is? Why are these cops getting overtime? The way the police budget is in New York, you shouldn't even have. What happened is inexcusable. If it was any other city, I wouldn't be going this hard at the police. But seeing that the NYPD department gets billions and trillions of dollars and they cannot stop this is proof that they're not getting paid to stop crime or prevent crime. They're getting paid to harass the citizens, because there's no way, with all the technology they got, militarized police, that you cannot stop a domestic terroristic threat in the same place the towers fell.
Right. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling back. We had some issue with the stream earlier. Anything else you want to say? Land your plane, Florida Boy Jay?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Please go over to my channel, Florida Boy J, on YouTube.
Okay.
We have been posting every day. We just hit over 100,000 views.
Nice.
Again,
Nice.
this month.
Nice.
I have a TikTok clip start where I am telling people that, you know, gay people can be street and gay people have street cousins and family members. I get that on TikTok, right? Just a clip. That is about to hit 100,000 views, just that clip. And the gay community is supporting me on TikTok now. So I want to say thank you to them. And just go ahead and support my page, man. I'm putting in work. I appreciate you, Star.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Florida Boy J tapping in. I'm going to play another video for you so we can have a healthy discussion. If you are yourself a descendant of Black Seminoles, Native Americans, or anything, and you want to call in, educate us. Educate us. You know, talk to the people who may not necessarily have a full understanding. Let me get this video ready here. You know, it's very fashionable to claim things, you know, to take somebody's talking points and then try to pass it off as your own. But, you know, a lot of those Native Americans were racist. Yes, they were. And they have been getting their reparations over the centuries, not just decades, but centuries. And they're not so quick to include you if you are claiming to be foundational Black American or anything with regards to the Black Seminoles. Oh, no. They let you know how you came into their tribes.
It's hard to imagine that Hollywood hasn't jumped all over this. You would think it would be box office gold because it's part Spartacus and part Braveheart and part Amistad and part Glory with a little bit of Dances with Wolves thrown in. A story decades long of oppression and freedom fighting. I don't understand why there hasn't been more attention to John Horse and the Black Seminoles, but hopefully we can correct this. John Horse and the Black Seminoles deserve to be remembered for a number of reasons. They created the largest haven in the U.S. South for runaway slaves. They led the largest slave revolt in U.S. history. They secured the only emancipation of rebellious slaves prior to the U.S. Civil War, and they formed the largest mass exodus of slaves across the United States, moving from the Florida Everglades through Indian Territory, what would become Oklahoma, eventually locating in Mexico, where they secured title to their own land. It's a remarkable story. It's overlooked not just by filmmakers, it's not well known in popular culture, and in fact, it's been overlooked by historians of slavery, if you can believe it. In the early 18th century, two groups in particular fled the colonial South into Spanish Florida, into the Everglades. One of these groups were Seminoles, who were migrating from the various colonies, just trying to avoid white encroachment, basically, trying to move someplace that white colonists weren't. And the other group was runaway slaves, people who were fleeing and trying to create a free life for themselves. Both were welcome in Florida. And in fact, the Spanish crown offered runaway slaves their freedom if they would defend the land for the crown, for the Spanish. So a mixed society emerged in the Everglades of intermarriage, family intermingling between these runaway slaves and the Seminoles. And in fact, the first legally sanctioned Black free town in the North American continent was in the Spanish Florida Everglades. After the American Revolution, people living in the southern states didn't really like living that close to a large armed population of former slaves, particularly when they were in league with the local Native American nation, the large armed group of free Seminoles. And they knew that their own slaves felt free to run away and be harbored by this group. They knew that they were welcomed. And so from George Washington's administration on, there was questions of what do we do about the problem of the Florida Everglades? In 1818, this was James Monroe's administration, General Andrew Jackson actually moved into Florida, invaded it, not authorized to do so. He was actually pursuing justice against those who'd attacked Fort Scott in Georgia, but he did it anyway. He went into Florida and claimed it for the United States. When he seized the peninsula, he took the opportunity to execute some of the people who opposed him and also to clean out some of the areas of former slaves and Seminoles because he felt that this would make it better for annexation. The United States then soon actually bought Florida from the Spanish. When Jackson became president, he decided to make sure that the Black Seminole communities were moved out by force. So he pursued this in his policy, his larger policy of Indian removal. This led to the Second Seminole War, which was 1835 to 1842, and became the largest and costliest of the so-called Indian Wars. Because the two communities were tied together, that is, the former slaves and the Seminoles, when the Seminoles were attacked in the Seminole War, this led to an uprising of the former slaves. In April of 1836, Black Seminoles and their Indian allies moved together to create what was the largest slave rebellion in U.S. history. This wasn't just a matter of runaway slaves. More than 385 plantation slaves ran away from their masters and joined the Black Seminoles, essentially in laying waste to the Florida sugar mills, which were some of the most valuable areas, plantations in the whole continent. One Seminole leader at the time was the leader Osceola, who is justly remembered by history. Another leader who rose up at this time was John Horse, who was ethnically a Black Seminole, and who would ultimately lead his people on a long and trying exodus for their freedom. In 1838, John Horse and the Black Seminoles agreed to stop fighting the U.S. government in exchange for moving to what was then considered to be Indian Territory, which is now today the state of Oklahoma, and for legal recognition of their freedom. So despite the fact many of them were runaway slaves, they would have the opportunity to start over again as free individuals. Once they moved from the Everglades to Indian Territory, however, they found that their freedom was under attack, both by whites and by other Native Americans. In 1848, a decade after they had made the agreement with the U.S. government, the U.S. Attorney General announced that the government never had the authority, the power to recognize their freedom. And in fact, they were still, those who had been slaves, still enslaved. This was like opening season on them, basically declaring that they were there for the picking. And so they did the only thing they could do. They fled once again. Without security in Indian Territory, Horse and his Seminole ally Coacuchi promptly went to Mexico, where slavery was already illegal and had been for a couple of decades. There, Horse became famous as a general in the Mexican army, and his people found a way to make a life. Once they relocated to Mexico, things changed. When slave catchers from the Republic of Texas went over the border to try to find the runaway slaves, now free men, they met resistance not only from the Black Seminoles, but also from the Mexicans and the Mexican army itself. Eventually, the Black Seminoles, led by Horse, gained legally recognized Mexican land, nacimiento. Why isn't this recognized today? Well, for one thing, historians tend to be historians of Native American history or historians of slavery, but there's not many that move among these subjects. And it's a bit confusing because you have both the issue of runaway slaves and the issue of Native Americans kind of blended together, so it seems to fall through the cracks. Tradition is that Nat Turner's rebellion is the big turning point in the history of slavery and slave revolt. But that happened before the rebellion of the Black Seminoles, so it doesn't really fit the traditional trajectory.
I'm going to stop it right there. Phone lines open right now. That was a white woman telling some of your history. Call in. Let's hear you tell us your history. It's a research show. Okay. Thank you to those of you who have been sending in questions, comments, and cash apps. When a video is playing, I can't, I don't want to, read on top of what's being played because, I want you guys to focus. And I myself, am playing some of these videos over again so I can get my notes together. Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. Hey, Janet, is that you? Janet, tapping in on a Tuesday evening. Area code 973.
Hey, Star, how are you?
Hey, good to hear from you. I got your emails earlier, but, moving, shaking, and popping on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, anyway, I was calling in about the Seminoles.
Well, hang on. Can we start with Julian Brown first? Even if you don't know who he is, this is a young man out of Douglasville, Florida, highly intelligent. Have you heard anything about him, Julian Brown?
Yeah. Yes, I heard I seen some things in the social media, and I got the majority of the information from your show, from the Star Report.
Okay. He's not missing. He's fine. His mother just said he had to take a break, and he's gonna, be back whenever they feel it's time. He and his mother. But go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted proof of life. We didn't see him, so I just want to see him.
Okay.
See him visibly safe.
Well, his mother says you don't need to see him. And according to the Atlanta police, there's no report of him being missing. So you have to wait until his mother's ready. He's got a strong mother in his life. Damn social media. I respect that. Go ahead. Come on.
I'm sorry, that was just cool.
What's that?
I don't know. I guess that's the military in me. We just like to see proof of life.
Right.
But
Come on.
anyway, the Seminoles, right? Mm-hmm. You haven't mentioned the Geechees, that the black Seminoles, as you quote unquote call them, were actually the Geechees from different parts of North Carolina, South Carolina.
You can mention it. I'm bringing it to the table. Come on and mention it. Come on.
Okay, well that's who they were. And another thing I wanted to offer up, if I may, is that I just want black folks to understand when Kanye West said that slavery was a choice and people got upset. See, they have to understand that this the war, the Seminole War that they call it, quote unquote, was from 1816 to 1858. The Civil War started in 1861. So 2 years after the so-called war ended, the Civil War began, which means that America was actually losing the war overall to the black Seminoles and the Indian Seminoles, the Native American Seminoles. So that's what flipped the Civil War. It wasn't that Lincoln was, had this great thing about emancipation. It wasn't that people just got just tired. No, United States, and people need to mention this, was actually losing the war. So when Kanye said that slavery was a choice, and a lot of people, they stop at a certain plateau in their education and they don't go forward, or they do go, but it's just not in their realm, in their path of education to know these things. But a lot of the slavery, when they say certain people, if it wasn't for them, slavery wouldn't have lasted so long. The sellouts, the coons, the people that told on people, the ones that Harriet Tubman, as they say, rumored to say, quote unquote, shoot if they say anything. Those are the people that kept us enslaved, and these are the same people that, in the same mentality, that keeping the black race down. Because people was fighting, black folks was fighting for their freedom. They was raiding plantations. These Indians was raiding plantations as armies. They were structured. They were forward thinking, and they were dedicated. And so they were fighting the Europeans. And then,
can I jump in, Janet?
Europeans.
Can I jump in?
Mm-hmm.
That's not really the focus of why I brought the whole Black Seminoles to the table. We were talking about the lack of understanding and the misconception with regards to foundational Black Americans were a mixture of different native and tribes, if you will. Some Black people seem to think that, foundational Black American is just one specific race. You're talking about slavery and Lincoln, and that's fine. But I wanted to speak about, the Seminoles in particular, because the mixing and the working together, it came about over time. Now, we can talk about, as you said, the Geechees or the the free Africans, or we can talk about the runaway slaves, but I want to focus on those Black Seminoles. Do you have any history, connection, lineage to Native Americans in your family?
Well, of course, all Black folks have that rumor, but I don't go. I told you before.
No, they don't.
When a lot of people ask me,
Janet, no, they don't. No, they don't. Janet, no, all Black folks don't have connection to Native Americans. No, they don't.
Okay, so what I'm stating here is, okay, you have the Seminoles down in Florida, right? And then you have the Geechees that are from actually that were enslaved, not slaves, because there's no such thing as a slave. It's an enslaved person. A slave is not the ethnic group. Okay, so the thing is, you got the Porch Indians down in Alabama. It's a lot of tribes down there, and a lot of people with a lot of mixtures. And some tribes are darker than the other, because just like you can't have some Native Americans come over the Alaska Strait, you have some come up from South America, and those spots, and those people were darker. Like if you go to the Mexican history and stuff, you'll see the heads and all that other stuff.
But Jen, I hate to cut you short, but my question is, do you have any connection to Native Americans, Seminoles? Me, and I'm not trying to trip you up. I really want to have a healthy conversation.
No, I don't believe. No, I don't believe so. Okay, I don't believe so. I don't claim.
I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty, because you see, it's fashionable now for people to make this claim when they've done no research. They can't prove anything. Now, but at the same time, you and I are older, so we've seen people claim to be descendants of Moors at one point. Then there were Adolfs. Then there were Afro-Cuban. I mean, come on. So I mean, we're just, I'm providing some information. I'm trying to have a conversation, but no, everybody is not a descendant of a Native American. That's cap. Go ahead.
Well, you do know that during slavery, a lot of Native Americans were of dark skin, that they did send them away and then went back and got them and brought them back up here. They sent them to South America. There's plenty of historical facts on that. I can send you a paper on that.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Some people claim.
Janet, I'm not arguing. I'm asking you about something specifically. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. So, regardless of that fact, okay, and I understand what you're saying. I really don't know where you're going, but only thing I want to say is, if we're going to talk about the subject, I think we should talk about it in its entirety and not leave any parts out. As far as the Geechee, as far as how long as the war went, the dates themselves don't change. It shows that they were in constant battle, the Seminole Indians and the Black Indian Seminoles, and they were winning. So we don't. I don't want people to say, "Well, Lincoln freed the enslaved." No, we freed ourselves because we forced the Civil War. That was part of the contingency. That was part of the United States giving us something in the war that they were losing. So I just want you to understand that we are better than what society or some pundits want us to believe of ourselves. All right? And since we're speaking of Indians, all Native Americans, I always like to give a big ups to Buffalo Calf Road woman, or the woman who saved her sister, because she's the one who actually killed Colonel Custard. at the Battle of Little Bighorn. And no one ever mentions that in the books, and we don't see that in the movie. So I just like to put that note in. So if anybody want to go look that up, they can.
Well, listen, I appreciate everything you bring to the table, but the Seminole Wars, plural, plural. It was many wars, but I'm more so focused on, the Black Seminoles out of Florida. But you've already said you have no connection to them. I appreciate your knowledge. Anything else you want to mention, or I don't know, with regards to the shooter in New York City? I was just asking the question. I was kind of trolling, asking people in my community section if he was a Black Seminole. Well, what are your thoughts on his heritage, lineage, if you will? The shooter.
Well, he looks kind of Hawaiian. He looked venison. He doesn't look Neanderthal. He looked as he comes from a descendants of the venison. So he looked more Asian than anything. So in Seminole Indians, they didn't look Asian. They looked more South American. So I know it's been a mixture of a lot of people during the years, but it's easy to gather because of the images they always showing us on TV. But no, he was Hawaiian.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, he was a half or whole.
I agree. I was just, like I said, I was.
And let's not to forget the original Hawaiians were dark skinned.
Well, I've never been to Hawaii. You have. You in the U.S. Navy, yes?
No, I have never been to Hawaii, but I have read a history book, and so have you, because you went to better schools than I.
Well,
so you do, and the pictures are there. So
well, I don't know the full progression in Hawaii and Okinawa and those. Well, I'm sorry, Honolulu. Pardon me, different places. Where's Okinawa in Japan? I forget. Very racist towards Black people in Hawaii. Yes. Very racist.
No, they wasn't at first. It's some stories. Racism started as always when it become colonialized. They went over there and they stole them sugar canes. It was never a war or anything. Actually, I don't even know how Hawaii is a state right now, but since the government deemed it so it be. But I really don't the paperwork. If they really have a case if they don't want to be considered a case state, because they never lost any wars. And they never gave up their independence, the Hawaii Islands. So,
Let me make a correction. Yes, Okinawa in Japan. Japan, not Hawaii. Okay. All right. I'm not rushing you off the line. You want to land your plane anywhere, or any thoughts with regards to this young man who is not missing? I commend his mother, the relationship between them. It was really, really nice to see her. She complimented him. She said he is a brilliant inventor. He's only 21 years of age. Only 21.
Well, they seem like they have a great relationship, true. But, everything is great when the camera is on. I do believe he is a welder. He is a trained welder. He was trained in high school. It didn't say anything about him furthering his education with college, but in a collegiate way. But you could, just by the things that he speak of, you can see that he's well learning, self-taught.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's probably as an example, it's probably the best type of education one can get. It's self-taught because it motivates you, It shows your motivation. And you usually put whatever you learn into practice because it's self-motivated, which is great. So, but I just wanted to say that I just want Black folks to understand when they talk about these Somalians and things as such, always include the term Geechee, always include your ancestors and know that they were fighting. We were not sitting around waiting for the great white savior of Lincoln. That Civil War was done 2 years after it was a concession to free the slaves because they was losing the war. The United States was losing the war against the Blacks and the Native Americans. Okay?
Well, hang on a second.
So that's all I wanted to say.
Do we also say salute to Spain? Because Spain abolished slavery in Florida first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Well.
Right. So it is.
So the Black slaves and the free Africans had a place to go to. Salute to the Spanish, even though they lost, American Spanish.
Black.
No.
Enslaved, not slaved, enslaved.
Ooh.
We got it. We're not slaves. We were enslaved, which was human trafficking.
Janet.
But God donated us to be.
Janet, speak for yourself. My ancestors were slave traders. We're not all the same.
Well, that may be, but I'm talking about me.
Oh, okay.
The black. I'm talking about my people. Okay. And so, we were not slaves. We were enslaved. We were human trafficking.
Gotcha.
Okay. They talk about Epstein. Let's talk about it. Okay. So,
appreciate
thank you for letting me call in, and I didn't mean to go on and off on a tangent or anything.
It's fine. Good to talk to you, Janet. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Anybody want to admit in that live chat that they are a descendant of slave traders? I found the video. I found it. We'll get back to all that Epstein file stuff later. Hold on a second. See, guys, I've got OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and when I'm trying to find something or think about something, it bothers me until I find it. Hold on. Now, it's either this video or this other one. Please pay attention. This may be an exclusive brought to you by the Star Report. Let's all pay attention.
Did you know that Alejandro Rodolfo Heriberto James was born in Santo Domingo? He actually even played for the national Dominican team. Also played for the Cibaeños Vaqueros for a year and a half. That actually means that LeBron James is half Dominican. That's a fun fact, and I bet you didn't know that.
Stop the video right there. Is that cap? Omari says fake news. Somebody says cap shit. Well, I saw it. Jeremy says cap ass shit. Gangs of Love, that's my nigga. He says cap.
Did you know that Alejandro Rodolfo Heriberto James was born in Santo Domingo? He actually even played for the national Dominican team. Also played for the Cibaeños Vaqueros for a year and a half. That actually means that LeBron James is half Dominican. That's a fun fact, and I bet you didn't know that.
King of Gun Hill, is this a fact, sir?
Yes, I am. I'm from Gun Hill Road, my brother Nonson Gun Hill Road, and I'm definitely from the project and the Western Gun Hill and all.
Okay, listen, just don't call me brother and we're good. So, LeBron James, this nigga's half Dominican. What do you think?
Yes, he is, local. Yes, he is, bro. Look at the way he plays. Look at the way he looks. Look at his forehead. Right. And look at his receiving hairline.
Right,
He's definitely Dominican, son.
Right. I just learned about this yesterday. So is this video official?
Yeah, it's official. It's official, Star, man. It's official. Yo, look it up. Look it up. He got a family history. He's definitely Dominican. The father is definitely got some Dominican in him.
Listen, any type of link you got, send it to me. So now, has he been denying his Dominican affiliation, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's denying his affiliation because, you know, he get around, brother. I mean, a Star, he get around, Star. He get around, Star, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He get around, so he got an identity. He got an identity to uphold, man. So, you know, he likes to dip and dabble, but deep down inside, he's Platano. He's a Platano, Star.
He's a Platano, dumb in the camp. But now, hold on a second. Now, was he raised with that father, or did he have a stepfather?
Nah, he had a stepfather, but his main father was in and out. He was in and out, but he knows about his Dominican roots. Definitely.
Okay. I think this is a Star Report exclusive. I've heard no one mention this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dominican, bro. He's like 45% Dominican.
Listen.
Definitely,
I would say 60%. If his father, if his father
right.
put the seed, the seed up in his mom, 60%, easy.
Right.
Easy.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, Star. You're right about that. But look at his attitude. His attitude is like Dominican.
Yeah. Okay.
He got it. He got it in his blood.
Well, listen. Keep me posted. You got my email address is on the screen. Any link?
Yes, I do.
If you find something on his father, Google it and send that to me. I don't give a goddamn if it's 4 in the morning. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my homework tonight. I got a question to ask you. When you coming back to Gun Hill, man? When you coming back to Gun Hill, the Bronx, bro?
Never. But good to talk to you. Salute.
salute.
Oh my God. Where are the Dominicans in the live chat?
So I have 3 days to make 5 gallons of my plastiline gasoline alternative made from plastic waste. Why? Well, because I have a very exciting collaboration coming. We're gonna run a beautiful vintage car off of this fuel. There's a lot of work to do. Let's get started. Wait. Much better. Much safer. Let's make this fuel, baby, from plastic waste. I got a gallon of plastiline, fuel made from plastic waste.
Let the wolves out, I've been a dog. I feel good, get the fuck out my thighs. Look good, but she don't got no ties.
Parker Edmondson, Dr. Parkenstein. Rumor has it, I heard it from the mountains, that you have a vintage vehicle. And I make a gasoline alternative from plastic waste, plastiline. And I would like to put this inside of your vehicle, your beautiful vintage vehicle, and see if indeed plastic is able to make a viable fuel for engines, old and new. This Sunday at 4 p.m. CST, live in Texas, you will see us put this in his car, and we will see what it would do. Join. Be there. Thank you guys so much for the love on the latest video. 300,000 views is crazy. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. But we got merch for this upcoming collaboration. Get your hands on some merch. Nature Jab and Dr. Parkenstein. Get it. Go to naturejab.com/merch. Also, I gotta thank all the Patreon members. Thank you guys so much. We got a few new Patreon members, a part of the tribe here. We have a whole bunch of new Pyrolysis tribe members on YouTube. You can become a member on YouTube as well to support this project. Once again, big love to all you guys. Thank you so much. For the record, just so you can see, look, I'm opening the valve. There's no gas in here. No gas inside of it already. I mean, it feels like a decent amount in there. And there's a good fuel tank right here, so this will not give me issues on the road. I gotta take a moment to thank you guys so much for all your donations, super chats, GoFundMe, Cash App, everything. Thanks to you guys and your donations, I've been able to get a much stronger vacuum loading system for the reactor. So this is the setup here. Shop vac, vortex catcher, with a little screen to stop plastic from going all the way back. And then suction down here. And here are the stats on the vacuum itself. Once again, thank you guys so much. This is a huge upgrade to the process. Speaking of super chats and donations, I gotta thank you guys again for all your super chats, donations, etc. Because as I said last episode, I got a $3,000 plastic shredder, a double shaft plastic shredder at that. And you don't have to ask Diddy to know that 2 shafts are always better than 1. And so this thing is amazing. I ended up loading it in my van, transporting it around like a G. I didn't think that was even going to be possible or work, but it did. I literally loaded it in the car by myself, unloaded it by myself, and even moved this old plastic shredder out by myself. And man, this stuff is such a pain, especially this old plastic shredder. It has wheels, but they barely even worked well even on concrete, let alone some gravel. So it was just a matter of tussling my tits between the clips of gravel here, and well, I had to make it work. And a lot of people are like, get a dolly. I think just having multiple men is the best way to do this, because you know, I used a dolly before and it snapped the ratchet straps, so I made it work. Why? Well, because I had music. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only little snippet you're gonna get, so I don't get copyright claimed, right? I already played enough music throughout this video, but you can see the full dance collages on any of my social medias or even YouTube shorts while you're here. But I had a lot of fun just dancing around the thing like a little monkey, like the monkey I am, and getting this thing transported about. So when it came to getting it out the box, it was actually quite a peculiar task, and you're gonna see why. Well, first of all, I want you to pay attention to something, right? Well, let's take a look at the shredder in the inside at first. It was packaged well, looked amazing. So much styrofoam, man. This styrofoam drove me crazy, like. But look, it says unpacking mode. Just pull it up. I unscrewed all the screws around the base, and there literally was no screw or nothing holding the wood to the base. But no matter how many times I tried to just slide it up or hit it up, it wouldn't work. So I tried to crowbar everything. I just took my circular saw, cut straight down like we're Star Wars in this piece. I am your father, Diddy, Sean Combs, I'm your father. Or maybe that's not something to be so proud of, right? Well, anyways, that did the trick. And, oh, look at this beauty. This is the ultimate ASMR maker. This is the ASMR-inator 3000. And like I told you, I got all that styrofoam from it that I'm, of course, shredding, and it's such a pain. I mean, like, look, it's shredding it amazing, and also trying not to take my fingers off, right? But look at all the freaking little styrofoam mini balls that go everywhere. I got that new vacuum from you guys, so it's gonna be great to get all this up. And I do end up getting it up, but Lord, it's just like, man, it almost feels like this stuff should be illegal. Like, we know what microplastics do. And yet we create these things. They get the tiniest little microplastic things just flinging everywhere, even when you snap it with your hand. It's almost like a war crime, right? Knowing that these things get in our fetuses, and most importantly in our testicles as us men, right? Our testicles ain't even safe. The most guarded treasure isn't even safe from microplastics. But anyways, like I said, this is the ASMR-inator. I'm gonna have lots of fun with this, guys. But obviously, take a look at how messy this is.
Look, okay, so these are like really big shreds, really big. These are not small. Put them in again, and then look, small chips that come out. Look, all right, we got a nut jar. You guys ready for some nuts? Let's see. Holy shit. Nuts, put nuts everywhere, man. I just got nut all over me. Pause. Just got nut all over me. All right, let's try that again. All right, we'll do the lid first. You said put somebody's hand. Man, this thing will eat your hand so quick. I've never been able to bog this down so far. Look. God damn. Shoots. This is actually a projectile. It's making projectiles. Holy shit. Hey, I'm trying to stay safe. Look. Oh, shoot. Look. So it has a reverse. It got a reverse on it. You see, it finally bogged down a little bit. Finally. And I got the reverse in this mother. Like, look at this. This thing has a reverse. And now, it eats it up like nothing. So, guys, indeed, we can confirm this machine is indeed straight because it could not handle nuts in its mouth. Imagine me putting my balls in this thing's mouth. It couldn't handle it, right? Couldn't handle those basic cashews. But hey, it was worth testing, all right?
What a lovely day it is. I was spinning the blades, hoping to be, moving the shredded plastic forward inside the machine. I thought the last run I did was, a completed run, but it wasn't. I opened up the machine. The first thing I saw was this, letting me know, well, the run was not complete. To look at the carbon. Look back here at the blades, and I did not think this would even be possible with a rebar. I didn't think the rebar blades could bend and contort like that from the pressures of solidified plastic. Are you kidding me? And right now I'm kind of in a crunch where, well, I need to make as much oil as possible. And I don't really have time to repair these blades, so I'm kind of about to just say, fuck it, let's just freaking run it with the blades messed up. Yeah, so you saw it there. I just got straight up unlucky. And this is not the end of my misfortune in this crazy goal I have before the end of the year to make this much fuel. I know 5 gallons doesn't sound like a lot, but you gotta remember most refineries are the scale of like 10-story buildings, and my distiller is the size of a freaking crock pot with Jimmy Neutron pipes coming out of it, right? Stuffing the plastic in by hand is kind of satisfying and actually pretty easy, and then, with the shredded plastic, oh man, I just love it, especially compared to when I was loading in just full bits of plastic, man.
Oh, here's the thing, right? Of course, they say life happens. Well, I happen to life too, okay? And so when something happens, unfortunate, it's just unfortunate for anybody that didn't want me to succeed because, well, I'm gonna make it work anyway, right? In the face of adversity, I've become innovative. So, not that it's all that innovative to just load plastic in through the front by hand, but basically what happened was the blades got contorted because I was trying to spin them while there was still some solidified plastic residual chunks left in the machine, whatever.
I thought it wouldn't happen because the blades are rebar and they're super like thick, but clearly the blades need a professional upgrade, so that'll be coming next year.
Make haste. We get on with the run regardless. Your boy doesn't give not two beavers dams about some blades. And guys, you know what? The blades damaging or getting that contorted was crazy to me because this is rebar. I know rebar is pretty soft. It's not like hardened steel, but you know, the only thing that's stopping the blades like catching on them to make them over torque is literally hardened plastic formed all around them. So it's like hardened plastic outperformed rebar. So I did this run for 5 hours because, of course, doing shredded plastic, we can fit in way more plastic than when it's not shredded. So the normal run back then was 4 hours, but the normal run now is about 5 to 5.5 hours. Doing a full load of shredded plastic. Of course, this is with the blades not really operating properly, so kind of like using a blender with only 2 of the 4 blades on it. You can't really say it's a realistic run. But you see there, I pressed the button to spin the blades, so I am still spinning the blades in there, because about half the blades are damaged and just form that wall of cock block triquetra gangbang scissoring. But then the other half in front of that are not an issue, and they're like normal blades, so all the plastic ahead of that bundle of nonsense will actually move and be agitated properly. And anyway, you can see the oil coming down through the sight glass. Looks good. Typical operations of the machine. And guys, I also learned, and I've been experimenting, but I really don't even need to have my recirculating water chiller on for most of the time. So I have the natural gas vapors being plumbed into these. I think it's literally like 5-6 tanks here, and you see we're at 220 psi.
Alright, so we are about to get this thing started. Let me just get my my mask on, my respirator. So watch the line and watch the tank and you'll see the oil. Let me see if I can put my headlamps mounted somewhere so there's more light. It's siphoning. It's flowing on its own right now.
So I got a gear oil pump. You know, last episode my fuel extraction pump broke, and my gear oil pump worked for a half of one run and then it broke too. But I also got this manual pump, and this works great. And I love it because even doing it by hand, it starts to siphon and sucks out the oil by itself. And I also can hook up compressed air to help even further. But spoiler alert, in the live stream, I don't have it in the video footage of it, but the air pumps just stopped. Like, it's still forming a vacuum and sucking, but for some reason it's not sucking the oil out the machine or the keg anymore. So like the last gallon of plastic crude oil I made is literally stuck in the keg. And like I said, guys, my misfortune doesn't stop here. Take a look at this problem I have now. We'll look at the natural gas flare flame coming off of this burner, and take a look at how the burner is getting more red and more hot than the actual distiller. So the natural gas flare flame is really burning inside of the burner. Now this is not an issue of it has too much air in the actual tanks, because otherwise it would travel back to the tanks and blow up. It's that the air-fuel mixture, or the stoichiometric ratio of this vapor, is just so weird that it literally is sucking in just enough air to literally cause a flame to be inside the burner. And that wastes so much of it, because of course most of the heat is going to heating up the freaking burner and not the distiller. So that wasted pretty much a whole distillation run. So now I have like 2 gallons of my plastic crude oil sat there in the distiller, loaded full of plastiline that is just stuck in that plastic crude oil form. And like I said, my misfortune does not end here. You will see I'll have even more issues on my quest to make 5 gallons. So anyways, this is the last run I did out there. You know, I was out there for 3 days and I did a total of 5 runs of the machine. Absolute hobo, Rambo, crazy stuff going on. Intense workload trying to meet my goals. And it's funny because I made probably close to 5 gallons. I made at least 3, but the issue has always been it got the oils are stuck in ways are unrecoverable. Look, another freaking gallon going in the distiller. So you see, guys, I've already poured in 3 gallons. Now, on average, you're gonna get between a quarter. So if I pour in a gallon of the plastic crude oil, I'm gonna get either a quarter gallon of plastiline from that or a half a gallon. It depends on the type of plastic. But in short, I should be at least a minimum 2.5 gallons between all of this I poured in. But once again, I just kept having issues. So I then got the plastic mate natural gas product, the unnatural gas as I call it, from this run, and I will go ahead, light the burner, and you see, watch. Lights bloody perfect. Like, why did it not light right the first time, or when on that specific run's batch of the unnatural gas? But this run is working fine. So guys, please, I'm honestly, I'm stumped. I don't know. And the very last run I did of this, right? The very last run I did only on live stream. I compressed up to 250 psi of the unnatural gas product, and it's doing the same thing again, where it just burns weird. I don't know why that's happening. Guys, if you could leave suggestions for me for why my pump, the pump that's not sucking out the oil is happening and why this is happening, I greatly appreciate it so I can troubleshoot over the holidays. You know, my work never ends, even on Christmas. I'll still be doing the freak-offs. I mean, I'll still be working on the machine, in my mind. So yeah, I did not meet my goals. I failed my goals by 5-fold, and I am a very goal-oriented person. I'm a very hard worker. I'm very perseverant. Even when things go wrong, I keep trying to make them right. This is crude LDPE oil. This is crude LDPE oil. Earlier, we did a run inside of the plastic to fuel reactor of just LDPE plastic bags. This is the resulting oil. So we're going to put this in this distillation apparatus to go ahead and refine this out, get out the plastiline, the plastidiezel, and plastic kerosene products to send them out for analysis. So yes, guys, on top of making all these fuels, all this, all the runs, the shredder and everything, I'm still doing my analysis. I really appreciate you guys raising the 1,500 so fast, and it's the least I can do to really pump these analysis runs out. So I'm still doing so many things at once, and I love it. I love the workload. It keeps me alive. I'm grateful to be able to do anything at all, right? So anyways, we put in the crude oil product, and this is LDPE, so it should be quite similar to HDPE. And for those of you that are not aware, the HDPE analysis did come back. Check out Mass Spec Everything on YouTube. Professor Benjamin Katz. He will go more into specifics, but anyway, LDPE is very similar to HDPE. They both are polyethylenes, only separated by density, really. So the results should be pretty similar, and we're going to see when I send these out to him. Now, he probably will not be able to get to these until the new year because he is a professor, and he works at the University of California, so it's the holidays. So don't expect these results until probably, I'd say, the mid or late January, but that's okay because by then I'll have my next samples going out. We'll be doing mixed plastic next, which is what I want to see the most because I don't really care about individual plastics because I want this machine to be able to handle everything. Now, once again, for the diesel fraction, we had to make it an ultra short path distiller because it just does not want to come over. The diesel fraction started to solidify again, and notice how it's like that red color, the cherry red in the flask, but I go to cycle it up with the pipette and it becomes like a cloudy brown color. It is what it is, but here are the 3 samples. We got the crude oil on the left, the plastiline in the middle, the plastidiezel on the far right, where we're sending all these to Professor Benjamin Katz. Like I said, check out Mass Spec Everything on YouTube to see the last analysis, and I'll let you guys know when this is done. Thank you so much for watching, and Nature Jab out. Make sure you get some merch. Make sure you're there this Sunday, 4 p.m. CST, when we run these vehicles off of the plastiline. So thank you, guys.